Hi everybody, I'm Mike Smith. I used to play professional basketball. I picked up the game of golf at 25, had never swung a club before. And in about 3 years, I was pretty good, like a 1 or a 2. But in basketball, I used my hands, my arms for everything I did, so I got really good with my hands. Guess what? If you over rely on your hands in golf, you're going to have misses to the right, to the left. There'll be days you don't time it perfectly, and you're in trouble. That's why I'm here. I need to learn better positions, more consistency through Rob Stanger's content. Check it out.
This is a video of Mike swinging before his lessons with Rob. This shows how the hips really come off of the hip line, come very far forward, a lot of early extension. This leads to the loss of posture. The back has to straighten. As Mike mentioned, he does a really nice job saving it with his hands. But as you look at the impact sequence here on the right, you can see that there's not much lag and the club really outraces the hands, and there's a very early loss of the extension of the right wrist, which has a lot to do with the hip extension and the loss of posture. So as we walk through the feedback we get from Rob, we'll see a big change in the posture and how that impacts how the hands and arms work to move the shaft much more reliably with better face control through the impact zone.
The thing we want to do is we want to make sure you have a trigger, something that gets the swing going. Yep. So let's go ahead and throw the club up across your chest and let's get the body rotation going. So in the drills that we've been working on, so what we're doing is kind of feel like you're kicking that rear end out, you're tilting from the hips a little bit, and feel like your chin and your chest are kind of up a little bit.
Yep.
As you make this motion, we want to try and engage the core. So good body rotation, the right hip just goes back into that right hip, the right hip goes back into the right heel, storing the energy up that way, and then in the forward swing now. So go ahead and turn that left hip back into the heel, and then you're going to square up to the target coming through. So what this does is this frees that body rotation up like you're talking about. The feeling of freedom is all through body rotation. You want to feel like that core rotation is storing energy up in the backswing and then releasing the energy over to the target going through. Okay, once you get the feel of conditioning that move, now let's go ahead and add the golf club into your hands. So, and again, your grip is great. A lot of years of working on that.
I don't know about that.
Thumbs on top, thumbs match the leading edge. And again, what we're mainly trying to get the feel of in this golf swing is understanding that there's two things that the golf ball responds to. It's the path of the club face and the angle of the club face. Those two things combined are going to create your launch direction and spin direction of the ball. So that's just basically the arms and the hands are steering the golf club while the body is storing energy up and releasing that energy to the target. So when you go into your backswing, you want to make sure you're getting the feel of how to trigger your golf swing through that right hip working back into the heel. That takes that setup position and moves it down the line. Now from there, you can go ahead and transition however you want to create that positive path, negative face.
And that's so different for me. I used to think, hands, shoulders, triangle, take this away one piece, right? Because of whatever instruction I learned on a TV show, right? Or in a magazine, right?
Yeah.
Take it away one piece. Mm-hmm. I love the new trigger you've given me of just, get in your right posture and move that hip back.
Yeah, exactly.
And the club follows, which is beautiful. I want less thinking. Mm-hmm. I'm a thinker by nature, right? I'm over. I don't want to get paralysis through over-analysis, right? I want to be free. So that trigger you've given me, I don't want to say it's revolutionized everything, but it's made things so much easier.
So here we have the video of Mike on the left before, and we're going to see again a lot of early hip extension, and he really saves the shot with his hands. Notice how the club head is releasing really down the line. The right wrist has a lot of extension that is lost, and it goes into flexion quite soon, and you can see the body rotation kind of stops. A lot of back straightens out early. Now, after he's had some sessions with Rob, we want to make the swing much more rotational. Drive it with body rotation. The hip goes back, move the club clockwise through the transition, and drive body rotation to move that club. So look how the hands are moving left, the club head is going left, there's body rotation going left, soft left elbow, a big difference in the posture. And what this has provided to Mike is much better control of his club face and the club path as he comes through that is not dependent on saving it with his hands. One of the items that really helped Mike was understanding how the transition of the club goes clockwise. we're going to play a preview of one of our premium videos from our golf subscription training site. Simply click on the link in the description below or on the iCard above, and it'll give you free access to the full video.
Now, when you're working on that swing path, one of the common flaws that some golfers have is that when they go into that backswing, they're ripping it too far inside through the wrist. That action there is going to create a reaction of the golf club working over the top. Okay? That over the top move is actually more of where the upper body is actually throwing the golf club out to hit the ball, rather than we want to have the golf club transition basically from the golfer's perspective clockwise instead of counterclockwise.